Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So for my bonus Marvel movie video this week, we have to talk about the death of S.H.I.E.L.D. as it applies to Captain America 3, as well as the plot of Avengers Age of Ultron. Because Kevin Feige actually said this really interesting thing in a recent interview. He talked about how they really wanted the Avengers to face this new threat, Ultron of course, without the benefit of a giant international organization like S.H.I.E.L.D. So the cool thing is that Marvel has already done a story like that, and it's called Secret Avengers. Real quick though, if you are finding me for the first time, normally I do bonus Marvel movie videos on Tuesdays. Be sure to subscribe to get everything, and feel free to leave me suggestions for future topics in the comments below. So here we go. The big question we need to ask in this video is what happens to Captain America and the Avengers when there is no more S.H.I.E.L.D.? First, we have to talk about the end of Winter Soldier. Chris Evans and Nick Fury said two very important things. Well, they actually said the same thing, essentially. They're going to conduct new missions on their own, off the grid. Nick Fury took off to try to track down the remnants of Hydra, and Captain America kind of did the same thing, but also is kind of looking for the Winter Soldier to try and rehabilitate him. So, in addition, we have Maria Hill at Stark Industries and Sharon Carter at the CIA. This mirrors some of the things that happened in the comics in the wake of the Civil War storyline, after which Norman Osborn took over S.H.I.E.L.D. and rebranded it Hammer. Then came Dark Avengers, and then Secret Avengers, which is what we're talking about now. Secret Avengers is really about Captain America putting his own team together to go on covert missions, like a spin-off of the Avengers. But here's where things get really interesting as it applies to the plot of Captain America 3, or potential plot. The first Secret Avengers team he assembled included Beast, War Machine, Valkyrie, Moon Knight, Nova, Black Widow, Sharon Carter, and Ant-Man. So right off the bat, we have to toss out Beast because Fox copyright, and they haven't introduced Valkyrie in the movie universe yet, but she could always be replaced by Sif, since she's also Asgardian. Moon Knight isn't really someone that we've met in the movies yet either, but Nova could always come via Guardians of the Galaxy, and the other members we've all either met or will meet before Captain America is released, aka Ant-Man. So the second big question we have to ask is if they actually did Secret Avengers for the story of Captain America 3, what would the real team look like? Because in practice, they're not going to cast all those roles. Remember, the movie is going to come right after Ant-Man in 2016, so we'll have Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers 2, and Ant-Man. So there will be a lot of new characters and potential stories. But let's talk roster, and here's the rule. Captain America can only pick from existing Avengers and the other characters that we've met on screen. Based on the original team, here's what we might see. Don Cheadle is War Machine, Jamie Alexander is Sif, someone from the Nova Corps in Guardians of the Galaxy, Scarlett Johansson is Black Widow, Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter, and Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. So now let's get a little bit more realistic and kind of shorten that list just a little bit, because if they cast all those people, it would feel like an Avengers movie, and this is really a Captain America movie, so it's going to be a little bit smaller. So let's just take Black Widow, Sharon Carter, and Lady Sif. Wouldn't that totally be crazy? Captain America and a badass team of Marvel women. It would be like Charlie's Angels, Marvel style. I don't think they're going to do that, but fun to imagine. I'd actually swap Sif for Paul Rudd just to balance it out. So now let's talk plot. In Secret Avengers, there are a lot of different villains, but eventually we kind of get to Masters of Evil, and I think that in the movie universe, we will see a form of them at some point. There are actually 2 volumes of the Secret Avengers comic, but in general, since Captain America is very Earth-based, I think any of the characters or story arcs they pull out will be more like Winter Soldier, more Bourne Identity than spaceships and aliens like some of the other Marvel movies. So the big takeaway from all the blowback after Winter Soldier is that Captain America will be putting his own team together and going on missions to deal with, Hydra, Masters of Evil, and possibly whatever Nick Fury ends up getting tied in, because remember, he went off on missions of his own. Nick Fury is actually a big part of the story in Secret Avengers, so if you want to learn more about that, just read the comic. But let's move on to what this all means for Avengers 2, because like I said, Marvel implied that S.H.I.E.L.D. would be on extended smoke break whenever Ultron comes. So the good thing about this is that we already know a lot about what's going on in the movie and who the big characters are. We even saw Captain America and Hawkeye's new suits and Iron Man's new armor. We even know what Ultron looks like, but the destruction of S.H.I.E.L.D. opens up a lot of possibilities for how the story will progress. So if they decide to stick with the Secret Avengers plot, it'll be Captain America traveling around the world trying to get them all back together. And if it wasn't clear after Thor the Dark World, Thor's actually living on Earth right now. In addition, the Avengers Tower will be finished, so that will be a focal point in the movie. We got to see a little peek of it during Winter Soldier. It was a real quick shot. This means the real problem won't be making them all play nice together. It'll be finding the resources to fight Ultron. If only there were a billionaire, industrialist, playboy, philanthropist nearby who just happened to hire S.H.I.E.L.D.'s former second-in-command. Oh wait, that was Maria Hill at the end of Winter Soldier. They totally did that. So they will have all of Iron Man's resources at their disposal, which is pretty cool, a lot of fun toys. But if Ultron is capable of co-opting electrical systems, we need to think about how that's going to affect all the Stark tech. So it's possible that Ultron could start controlling some of the Iron Man suits. And then there's the birth of Vision. That's a whole other thing. Even though Ultron created Vision in the comics, we don't know if the movie is going to do it that way or if they're going to change his backstory. There's also all the Tesseract energy. We don't know if that's going to play a role. If you didn't catch the Baron von Strucker reference at the end of Winter Soldier in that post-credit scene, Loki's staff and Tesseract energy were responsible for Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch getting their powers. Remember, all those Fox copyright issues with both the characters being used, they had to change the backstory, so it's a little weird. But I have a feeling that the creation of Ultron and Vision will have something to do with Tesseract energy, as well as kind of the interaction with Stark tech. Here's a big question that you should all try to answer in the comments below. How is Stark Industries going to step in and fill the shield void, provide that support system to fight Ultron? Is it just going to be Stark tech, or is it going to be something else, something new? In slightly related news, because it is Wednesday, I'm also doing an Arrow bonus video, so that's mostly going to be about the finale as well as the Flash crossover next week. Be sure to subscribe to get that. I'm actually going to be adding it as an annotation right here. You can click here, I'll add it as soon as I post the video, and you can click here to get my Winter Soldier review. Thank you so much for watching. Hail Hydra. I'll see you guys later.